when they heard, again over cell phones, of what had happened in New York. The aircraft had been aimed, it seemed, at the heart of Washington. The enemy struck at the symbols of American might, its economic, military, and political power. The attacks were essentially on America's way of life. As a result of what President George W. Bush described as no less than attacks of war, the mighty United States of America came to a virtual standstill. For the first time ever, all of the nation's airports were closed. The New York Stock Exchange suspended trading. Disney World in Florida was evacuated, and the Emmy Awards for the best U.S. television show scheduled for Sunday in Los Angeles were postponed. Broadway and baseball were canceled until further notice. Within hours of the attack, the city had become a police state. All the bridges and tunnels giving access to Manhattan were sealed. Washington, D.C. was scarred when the American Airlines Flight 77 tore a gaping hole in one of the largest office buildings in the world. And the prestigious Pentagon, the symbol of the country's armed might, was smoldering. It dragged the capital from the complacent calm of a sunny September morning into an eerie world of destruction, tension, and terror. As thick plumes of smoke billowed into the sky across the Potomac River, the city was transformed in minutes. Government buildings, the White House, Treasury, State Department, and Congress were evacuated at speed. The streets were deserted, save for emergency vehicles and snipers on roofs. Washington had emptied, and all roads into the city closed. The capital, like America itself, seemed sealed off. In all these tragic hours, the whole world became glued on television. The many hundreds of thousands of televiewers witnessed the horrific collapse of the Twin Towers, the second tallest building of the world. The photos and video footages were more serial than real. Charred bodies were falling down the building. Explosions were heard one after another, and people were panic-stricken, running away from the scene of disaster. The familiar footages reminded us of many disaster films in the recent past. New York City seemed to be a Hollywood director's favorite set for a devastating, disastrous plot. People from all over the world cried in disbelief to see the powerful New York City's financial district crumble into war-torn, dusty streets. Days after the attacks, thousands of families were still searching for news of those missing. Photographs of them lined the walls of buildings in New York and Washington. The world saw how people of New York clutched handkerchiefs in one hand and photographs of their loved ones in the other. Thousands, New Yorkers, strangers from different families, with different lines and different loves, were united in grief.
Proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, moonlight was still there. Oh, say doth fast our spangled
happened, and I think it's better if we all get together.
It still doesn't seem real. It can't be. This doesn't happen in New York. This doesn't happen in the United States.
Since September 11, the United States of America have become the reunited States of America. Many mourners read that the bodies of their loved ones are never going to be buried. They are forced to confront the same awful truth that no more bodies were likely to be recovered. These past weeks, it had been a time of immense soul-searching and sadness as images of the attacks and the families trying to cope with their grief are repeatedly shown across the world. Over 2 months have passed. The pain is still excruciating. The fresh wounds still need healing so badly. The fear has become overpowering because the menace of a biological, chemical, or even nuclear warfare hover over the city, around the entire nation, and certainly around the globe.